was all I ever wanted for 15 years, right up till that Friday, and it all went downhill. She left without a warning,
Low
not even a
budget.
goodbye.
Live, not so live, baby. Mike's hot. Mike's hot.
So bartender, pour me one.
I sound just like the guy singing this.
I miss her walking out.
Is it strange to dance and sing to your own song? Is it? I don't think so, because I love this song when I wrote it. So that is Luke Duncan, One-Sided Goodbye. And you know, I decided something this week. You know, I love music. I love fishing. I love life. And I'm thinking on this YouTube thing and podcast thing and all that, I need to be bringing the Luke Duncan music back. I need to be writing some new tunes. I need to be spreading the word about the songs I wrote so many years ago that I'm so very proud of. So that album is available on iTunes. Looking at you, camera. Yeah, you heard that. If you're just listening to Low Budget Live, this will be available in a video version where you can watch me talk crap about the fishing industry. Right there on the YouTube, Luke Duncan's Traveling Circus YouTube extravaganza. Thank you so much if you're already subscribed. If you're not, I'm looking at you. If you're not, then you better be. If you're not, then you better be. You see that? You see that? So, I mean, this is it's a historic day. It is a monumental day for Low Budget Live. This is the first. Wow, that was really loud when I did that. This is the first podcast from the new Low Budget Live Bar and Grill. Yeah, let's hear it. And I'm by myself today, so no Low Budget Live. We got some big things planned for in here, but gonna do a little tour of this new space. It's kind of echoey, very echoey, but super proud of this. Super proud of the job that my new brother Zach Brown, not chicken fried Zach Brown, but Zach Brown in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. Zach did us a solid on this place. Just burped into the microphone. But got a couch moved in up here. Got the bar. We're sitting at the bar. Got the new mic stand. I can't tell you how excited I am to be doing this from this space. On the other side of this wall, we've got the Triple Threat's daughter, Harper. We built her a bedroom. And my partner in crime, y'all know Harper, she's at college. And I'm sad about it. She hasn't been home in like 2.5 weeks. She's coming home this weekend, and she hasn't seen any of this. So I'm going to probably try to jump on a podcast with Harper and talk about some what's been going on in Harp's life, and maybe, you know, open it up to Urban Dictionary with Harper, where we talk about things like Thunderbolt. Like what the hell's a Thunderbolt? Looking at you, Major League Fishing. What's a Thunderbolt? The Thunderbolt ball. That made me laugh. Anyways, just kidding, guys. Just kidding. It could be in the Urban Dictionary, though, a Thunderbolt. Red Crest. All these names that are made up. I guess the Bassmaster Classic sounded weird when it first came out, too. At least they're trying to be original. I don't know. FLW's got the Cup. You know, FLW Cup. So, I don't know. Lots going on in the fishing world. Lots going on in the in the world of professional angling. And Red Crest was last week. Evan Evers won it. And I didn't keep up a ton. I watched some of it. I talked more to friends of mine that were there. Boots on the ground. And, you know, they didn't have a big crowd, but it's first year. So, you know, it wasn't a Bassmaster Classic crowd, but that thing's been going over 50 years or whatever, however long time. But it's, I still think people want to see fish getting weighed in. I still think that's the deal. I think that hurts them. They'll make some changes for next year though, and I don't see it going away. I don't think it's going to fail. I see people's internet chatter about that. And like I say, every time I talk about this, I've got a lot of dear friends that are over there, and I wish them nothing but the best. And I love those guys, love them, and them and their families, and so not speaking ill of it at all. I hope it exceeds everybody's expectations. But I would say it was underwhelming this year. If I had an opinion, I would say it was very underwhelming. I think it was underwhelming for the sponsors. I think it was underwhelming for about half the fishing fans out there. And I think that it created confusion. And by splitting up all the trails, and now we got 3 trails for now. And I think I don't know. I think there were a lot of positive things that came out of year 1 on the Bass Pro Tour. I do. I like a lot of things they did. Top of the list would be no entry fees. That's incredible for the anglers. But, there was a lot of hate and a lot of controversy and a lot of chatter and a lot of things that came out of it this year. And it's not ending. The controversy and the talk and the chatter, we're entering our 2nd fall in a row where they're dead center bullseye, target of all the fishing gossip and the internet chatter and Facebook and whatnots, your forums. I don't even know if people get on forums anymore. I'm sure they do. I've never been a big forum guy. Fat Bass 387. These guys suck at fishing. I've never been that guy. But never been on a forum. Shout out to you if you like forums. I used to get on the Bass Fishing homepage and read fishing reports when I was in college. Shout out to the Bass Fishing homepage. I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. But anyways, yeah, I think that MLF is, really got FLW like this. Right in the crosshairs. If you're listening, I just did something cool. Go to YouTube if you want to see it. What I just did right there, it was pretty dynamic. But I feel like that deal's going to happen. It is Thursday, August 29th, 2019, and from a birdie from high top, the MLF mountain speaketh the news that I think they may be getting closer to something with FLW. I don't know. I personally don't know. That's all hearsay. But it sounds pretty interesting. Sounds pretty interesting. Just smack that mic stand. Smack that. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. I've talked about it many times on here. I don't know how that makes me feel. I don't know where that puts me as a professional angler on the FLW Tour. I don't know where it puts all my friends. I don't know where it puts any of the guys that have been loyal to FLW for, several years. All I can hope is if something like that does happen, that a lot of the amazing people at FLW that have been like family to guys like myself, that they stay and that they get an opportunity to still work with the organization and that there aren't too many changes. Is that wishful thinking? I don't know. Businesses get bought out, things change, ownership, budgets and blah, 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 all this business stuff. And you never know. You never know. Is it a good move for MLF? Yes, because they need a feeder system. Nothing better than the TH Marine BFLs and the Costa Series and all that. Will it suck to see the FLW Tour turned into a, quote, AAA series? Yes, it will. I don't think that's it's not fair to guys like David Dudley and Brian Thrift and Scott Martin and John Cox and these legendary anglers that fish the tour. And, you look, last year you had Mark Roses and Scott Suggs and Anthony Gagliardi's, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. And we lost some guys to the Elite Series, but these guys are as good or better than most of the bass fishermen in the country, that you're naming there. And it's going to be interesting if this deal happens. It's going to be interesting. You know what else is interesting? Ethanol. Ethanol is interesting. It's a tricky little bugger. It is. Ethanol will ruin your stuff really quick. Anything that uses gas, whether that be your lawnmower, your weed eater, your outboard engine, your vehicle. StarTron takes care of that. StarTron kicks it right in the face. StarTron enzyme fuel treatment right there. A little dab will do you. Look at this big bottle. This big bottle right here. This is a 16-ounce. Whole 16-ounce hitter right there. And 16 ounces, let's read right here. How many gallons this will treat here, guys? This treats 256 gallons of fuel. This bottle, 256 gallons. It's got this handy grip on the side as well. StarTron, bringing you Low Budget Live. Really appreciate the folks at StarTron and really appreciate this product. I use it in my side-by-side, UTV, whatever you want to call those things. Use it in that. I use it in my weed eater, use it in chainsaws, use it in the boat, use it in the truck. They got a diesel formula. StarTron, rocking you out with some Low Budget Live, Not So Live this week in the new Low Budget Live Bar and Grill Studios. We've only had one drink at this bar so far, me and the Triple Threat. We did have a drink one night this week at the bar just to make sure it was up to speed. But there's going to be a lot that goes down right here from a Low Budget Live standpoint. What you can't see behind the camera here, 55-inch flat screen TV on the wall. Pretty pumped about that. We're gonna have that pulled up for the YouTubes while we're doing some LBLs. Got some guests that are going to come here now, and it's just a fun space, man. It's gonna be cool. Got to figure out kind of the ebb and flow and how it's gonna work and all that jazz. But super excited about the space. So thanks to StarTron for supporting this. Thanks to you guys for listening. Thank you to listening. So for listening, let's get back to the task at hand here. And I don't want to run anybody down the road. I don't, and I'm not out here spreading the gossip. I'm not trying to spread the gossip. I'm just telling you what's roaming around out there. What's peeking out from under the bed. What's looking, trying to see what's happening. Hey FLW. Hey Bill Taylor. Hey Bill. Hey FLW Tour. What y'all got going on over there? That's MLF talking. I don't know how MLF would sound, but peeking over there. So, and then check yes or no. They're writing them notes like when you were a kid in school and you're like, will you let us buy you? Check yes or no. Slide it over there. We'll see, man. We'll see. I'd like to know everybody's opinion that listens to this. If you drop it in the comments on YouTube or you send me a message, DM, as the kids say, on Instagram, what's your opinion of it? For me on MLF, like the championship round, and I got a ton of friends in it, and I was watching the score tracker deal, and once Edwin got a sizable lead, I dipped out. I was like, well, Edwin won $300,000, good for Edwin. And everybody that made the top 10 made a good chunk of change, and it was awesome. It was awesome to see a no entry fee trail, like all that were, all those things were certainly positives. But I don't know, man. I think that there'll be changes to the format for next year. I'm hearing that. What would you like to see change in the format to better suit you? Do they go to a 10 fish thing, or fish over 4 pounds awarded something different as far as points or whatever concern? I don't know. I just think that a a lot of people really love it, and it is. It's cutting edge stuff, technology wise. Their broadcasts were great. Shout out to JT Kenny. They've got the firepower. I just think they've got to fine tune the product. Do I have an answer for it? No. But I wasn't the one that tried to start a new professional bass fishing trail. So I don't have to have, I can critique it, armchair quarterback it. But I know what's worked in the past, and they went polar opposite. But I think anytime something is new, you have to give it a chance. And I'm not knocking the, people are like, mostly little fish. Well, I've talked about that on here before. Shut up with that. Freaking Jacob Wheeler catches 87 fish. That's cool to me. Like Todd Castledine and I have argued about it a couple times, but that's cool to me. That's cool to me. That's a freaking banner day, right? Like, that's as good as it gets. Yeah, you didn't catch a bunch of 5-pounders, but dude, that's crazy. That's almost impossible to do too, with stopping and weighing them and all that good stuff. So 87 bass was crazy. So, Zach Bird's the first couple of days of that red crest deal, dude, he just was like, hey, watch this, and caught a ton. And it was cool. I watched it on Score Tracker. I didn't get to see much of their live coverage, but had some stuff going on. On the other hand of things, you had a Bassmaster Elite Series going on at the same time, if you were aware of that. And my buddy Gussie, shout out to Gussie, Jeff Gustafson, ended up finishing second up there to Jamie Hartman, who's won twice this year. But, I found myself when I had a free minute, and this is no shot at anybody, I had myself when I had time to watch either or, especially when Gussie was leading, and Gussie is a buddy of mine. I think the world of him. I found myself watching, and I'm buddies with everybody, a lot of guys, and I found myself watching Bass Live, because they were catching big ones. They were catching, Gussie had 25 pounds. Like, it was just cool. Big largemouth up north. They weighed an 8-pounder up there the first day on a lake in New York. Like, that's all cool storylines for me. And I found myself checking their standards. I was checking both, but I found myself watching their live coverage a little more just to see bigger fish. Like, it was cool. And the techniques they were using and everything, it was just, I don't know. I think I enjoyed, now I didn't get to watch either one of them on the final day. I didn't watch either one. But I did check Score Tracker out, for the MLF stuff. But I say this, Bass is an interesting story this year because all their guys left. And now we're almost finished with the year, and I feel like they survived it. Their weigh-in crowds have been huge for most of the venues they've been to. I've got friends that have been there, boots on the ground. And I don't know, man. I think they survived it because of one thing. And that's brand name. In this country, we are very brand conscious. We are very brand loyal. And I keep smacking my dang head on this microphone right here. We are very, very brand loyal. And if Bassmaster comes to your town, take Waddington, New York. They've been there several times. They get a gigantic crowd up there on the St. Lawrence River. It doesn't matter who's there, dude. It doesn't. It doesn't matter who's there. It doesn't matter if it's Kevin Van Dam or Kevin Swanson. Shout out to Kevin Swanson. It doesn't matter. The people see Bassmaster term. It's a household name. Bassmaster. It's Bassman. The Bassmaster's in town. Because I would dare say that in La Crosse, Wisconsin, where they had the Red Crest, most elite championship of all time, the Red Crest, Major League Fishing, the crowd they had, because they had all the vendors, all the boat companies, all the pros, big names. And from what I understand about the crowd, it was not anything overwhelming. And I think that goes to show you what that household name does. Now, will MLF be a household name in another 3 or 4 years? Probably. I think they'll get rich or die trying, like 50 Cent says. Shout out to my boy 50 Cent. But I think that it's almost impossible for them to fail. There's too many, hands in the cookie jar for that one to fail, and too many smart businessmen, right? But I dare say, what if you had a Bassmaster Elite Series event in that town? What would the crowd look like? A regular season event with a big expo. I don't know. It would be interesting to see. And there are certain parts of the country. I would also argue that lacrosse is not the best place to be fair, to judge them on a crowd. Had it been in Birmingham and they don't have a crowd, then you got a problem. Then you hit the panic button a little bit. Knoxville, like where we saw the Classic, huge crowds, biggest crowds. The booths I worked there, insanity. If you don't have a crowd in some of those areas, you got an issue. So time will tell. Time will tell with the whole deal. But that Bassmaster name, and it's been like that against FLW for years, right? They're the household name. The Forest Wood Cup, FLW Cup, whatever we're calling it now, FLW Cup, is a very prestigious bass fishing event. Anybody that tells you they don't care if they win it or not, or they wouldn't care to have that trophy and that check, it paid $1 million at one point in the sport, still pays $300,000. It's insane. Big, nice, shiny cup, one of 3 prestigious championships in the sport of fishing. 4, including the BFL American. I'll throw that one in there. But I dare say that there's never been a cup as far as attendance and I've been to several. I can speak on this because I have been there. There are not a lot of FLW Cups that can compare to the Classic attendance-wise at the Expo. Because the Classic's a classic. It's that brand name. Bassmaster, man, the Bassmaster Classic's here. So I think that FLW's always struggled with that. They've had incredible turnouts, though. Don't get me wrong. Incredible events. TH Marine, speaking from my personal experience, TH Marine, the year Justin Atkins won, Columbia, South Carolina, those were amazing cups. The Birmingham Cups, amazing cups. Lake Lanier Cups, amazing cups. The last 2 have been kind of lackluster. Hot Springs didn't really show out crowd-wise. But, from my business standpoint with TH, when we were at the Columbia, South Carolina Classic, we sold as much as we normally sell at a Bassmaster Classic in the spring. So FLW's always had that potential, but it's still a marquee event in the sport that people are paying attention to, the weigh-ins in the arena. It's a first-class freaking top-notch event, but it's not Bassmasters. It's not. And it's just the name. It's just the name. Are the fishermen any better? No. Because are they any better than the guys on the FLW Tour? No. Are they any better than the guys on the Bass Pro Tour? No. I mean, you can argue a million different ways on this stuff, and argue in the comments if you want to argue. Don't argue with me. But you can argue it however you want to argue it. But you see guys now that bass sniped from FLW, went to Bassmaster, and now they're the top dogs over there, competing against the guys that are left, that didn't go MLF, and Canterbury's leading angler of the year, and almost all of us on FLW Tour was like, yeah, Canterbury will go over there and shake things up, and so will the Johnstons, and so will Matt Airy, and so will Brandon Cobb, and so will Shane LaHue, and so far, and Gussie, and so far, that's what they've done. They've gone over there and caught them, and those guys are all off the tour, so. But it's that household name. Branding is so huge. Think about Yeti. Think about a company like this. Shout out. Get at me, Yeti. Get at your boy. I need a tumbler to hold when I do the sales pitch. But think about a company like Yeti in that, people just buy their shirts that don't even own a cooler or can afford a cooler or whatever you want to say. Like, people buy their clothing. They wear their they put their decals on the backs of the trucks. But they were genius in, hey man, we got these high-end coolers. Let's do these cups, these tumblers. Everybody will carry one of those. It's amazing what that company's done, but it's branding. It's branding. Are there 14 other brands of coolers out there that are just as nice? Yep. Are there 14 tumblers that you can get at Walmart for $9.99? Yep. Are you still going to buy the Yeti? Yep. It's just, we are a very brand conscious society. We are. So I think bass survived the shot over the bow. Time will tell. Time will tell. With sponsors, it's a lot of sponsors are in a contract year with bass right now, just as they are with FLW. I think my air conditioner just kicked on. It was kind of crazy, kind of loud. But it's an interesting year. It's a contract year for a lot of people. So will people re-sign? Some of the big sponsors, are they going to go BPT? There's not enough money in this pie. This is a fishing pie right here. I wish it was. I'm doing the Fat Ass Challenge again, by the way. Started 4 days ago because the triple threat looked at me and said I need to get healthy. So here we go. But I wish this was a pie. But the fishing pie is only so big, and there are only so many endemic sponsors within the industry. And that dollar's only going to be stretched so far. It's only going to be stretched so far. And eventually, especially if we go into a little bit of a recession, which a lot of people think we're going to, it's an election year, yada, yada, yada. The sales are down on things. It's an interesting time. They're not going to be able to sponsor all 3 trails. They're not going to be able to sponsor guys that fish all 3 trails. Individuals that fish each trail, not guys that fish all 3, because you can't do that. But it's a very, very, very interesting time. I think you're seeing a shift. I think we have seen a shift. I think that as professional anglers, and I'll include myself in this, we ignored that shift. We were arrogant in ignoring the shift. And there are a lot of the guys that are still ignoring it. And that is the shift to social media and YouTube anglers. And these guys like the Guggen Squad, guys like Tyler Anderson, guys like Ben Milliken, and countless others, and no offense to anybody on the left, like I don't know it as well. I'm getting more and more involved. There's a ton of good ones out there. Shout out to my boy Darian, D-Money. Darian is fishing. But dude, these people have millions of fans, like millions of fans. And you can argue it however you want to argue it. But the proof's in the numbers. The proof's in the numbers. And I dare say that at no point, and this is not a knock on it, but at no point in Kevin Van Dam, who is as top of the mountain as far as anybody we've ever seen in this sport, success, promotionally, signature series, blah, 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 whole nine. He's never had 1 million fans. Never. How many Facebook followers he got? How many Instagram followers he got? Like, he's never had 1 million fans. The most of the guys in that quote Guggen Squad have 1 million subscribers that watch their videos. Scott Martin, 400,000 subscribers just on YouTube. He made that shift. He made that shift. Can everybody make that shift? Nope. But is it a gigantic segment of this fishing market? More than people want to admit that fish tournaments professionally? You damn right. You damn right. It is, it's huge, man. It's huge. Buying power, or a lot of the YouTube fans, are they kids? Yep. Is that the future of fishing? Yep. Is the fan base for professional tournaments aging? Yep, it is. My dad is 60 years old. He can't tell you any dang thing about the Guggen Squad. He doesn't care. He still keeps up with tournaments. Hates MLF, by the way. Doesn't like the format. Like the television show, doesn't like the Bass Pro Tour. Doesn't like what they did. Still likes Five Fish, for what it's worth, if you're listening, Boyd. But my dad's going to get things changed. But Marty D. Big shout to Marty. So there is a shift. There's a definitive shift going on, and these kids are buying tackle. They're buying the Guggen baits. They're buying them. They're buying 6 cents baits because of Ben Milliken. They're getting exposed to fishing. They can put a GoPro on their chest, go to their pond and do what those guys do without having an $85,000 bass boat or feeling the need to. Sad but true. Professional bass fishing is doing this a little bit right now. It's too confusing, too much going on. People are content hungry. www.youtube.com. There's content for days. Content for days. And they're not plugging 40 sponsors. They're not feeding you crap, so to speak. I don't know, man. There's a shift going on. Is there a place for both of it? Abso-freaking-lutely. And you hope that the people that are the younger generation that's on YouTube, you hope that they turn into boat buyers. You know, me personally, I make a living selling boat parts for TH Marine. I hope they all turn into boat buyers because it is a dying segment. Boat sales bass boat sales are as low as they've been in the last 25 years. We're still building a lot of them, but they all cost $80,000 and not as many people can be involved. So I hope they all turn into boat buyers down the road. They're buying a lot of fishing tackle. They're buying a lot of fishing licenses. They're supporting the sport. They're showing up in numbers when these people do meetups. Brian Latimer's another one. B-Lat, killing it, man. Killing it. Yeah, his tournament game is strong. Yes, he won this year, but he had already established himself on YouTube. He could walk away tomorrow and still be Brian Latimer. I'm just saying that as professional anglers, over the years, we have been too arrogant. We think we're worth too much to sponsors. We think we control the industry. And you're seeing in this shift, no, we don't. No, we don't. There are a few guys moving the needle. The rest of them, dude, and there'll be a lot of people offended by this. The rest of them are just wearing a jersey, thinking they're moving a needle. They don't want to work hard. They think because they fish a professional trail and they put a logo on a jersey and they put a logo on a boat, they don't have to do anything. You're getting outworked. You're getting outworked. And you're getting outworked by 20-year-old kids on YouTube that make you look bad because you don't do anything. And now, though, you're seeing this shift. In this shift, you're seeing pros, hey, man, swipe up to see my YouTube channel. And I'm no different. I'm no different, right? We're broadcasting this on YouTube. I'm no different. I've dabbled in a little bit, but now I'm serious about it. And you're seeing that. Hey, man, I got a YouTube channel. And these are the same guys I've talked to that make fun of YouTubers. Quote, YouTubers. Stupid, irrelevant. Nah. I think we're all finding out that's not the case. So this thing's a freaking Category 5 hurricane of crazy right now. Of crazy. I got a call right here from a guy. I'm gonna put him on the spot. He just called me. Brian the Carpenter, you are on Low Budget Live, Not So Live, right now.
Woo! How about it?
Ladies and gentlemen, the first caller we've ever had in the new Low Budget Live bar and grill that we built in the garage. What's up, BTC? Right? You're the first one. This is the first podcast out here. I had my phone on Do Not Disturb. I looked down to see if I had any calls, and BTC called, and I was like, you know what? Fixing to surprise her. And you're not even going to believe this right now. Cody Meyer's calling in. Hang on, we're gonna get crazy. Hang on, please hold. Cody.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
You're on the phone with Brian the Carpenter and me on Low Budget Live, Not So Live, the first ever Low Budget Live from my new studio. Quote, and I say studio because it's low budget. I built a bar in my garage. So.
Hey, let's do the bar, dude. What do you have at that bar right now to drink, man?
Well, I got a bottle of StarTron in front of me right now because Low Budget Live, as we all know, is brought to you by StarTron, but I got the Tito's in the back, though, boy.
Hey, is that organic or what?
Tito's is organic and gluten-free is what it says on the pack.
I'm saying the StarTron.
StarTron organic? I don't know, man. I don't. It says right here on the label, danger, harmful if swallowed. So
Okay.
I think you want to steer clear of that, Cody. So, Cody, you know Brian the Carpenter, right?
Oh yeah.
What's up, man?
Not much, bro. What are you up to?
I'm actually in line right now to splash the Uncle Ronnie. We got a little Thursday night derby going on.
So, for those of you listening that don't follow Brian the Carpenter, I'm sure you do. You probably listen to me because you listen to them at some point, and they sent you this way. Brian has this boat build he did with TH Marine that was a bass tracker that is the most pimped out bass tracker you'll ever see in your life, and it has a Torpedo electric motor on it, and this thing is freaking stellar, dude.
Dude, it's a cheat code, man.
It's a cheat code?
Oh my God! Because we're almost all electric only lakes in South Jersey or all of the states. So yeah, it's unfair. It's my Torpedo tracker gets me up and down the lake all day.
This Torpedo tracker got me up and down and got back.
Torpedo tracker got me up and down the lake all day
with no problems. With no problems.
Cody, before I hang up, real quick.
Yeah.
Two iCasts ago, I was fishing with some guys in the iCast Cup, and I exploded a rod. I was using might have been a Halo, I'm not sure, but on a hook set.
Shout out to Halo.
I tried to bring that rod home through the airport, and I ended up with too much stuff in my bags, and I had to leave it at the airport. And then I remember seeing in your Instagram story, like that night, you found that rod.
I did.
Yeah.
I remember in the airport or wherever it was in the airport, right? Yeah,
That's
it was
right.
in the airport. And I thought, man, dude, this is pretty nuts. Dude, there's literally a broken rod in the Orlando airport.
I wanted to bring it home as a souvenir because it was, I just met these guys in the morning. I get on their boat. They're like, yeah, you, those are your two rods back there. I'm like, cool, And, yeah, I blew it up on a hook set in the grass, in them toolies.
The toolies.
To find a broken rod in Las Vegas or something, but hey, Florida work.
BTC, go catch them up in your tournament. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I have a feeling I know what you're calling about. Maybe?
I don't know.
Do you have some news? Have you heard news today? Because I've been talking about the news that I've heard today on here, but I won't put you on the spot.
No, I don't have news.
Okay, well,
although I've heard some whisperings.
Yes.
Has something been announced?
No, nothing's been announced, but lots of chatter today.
So what is it, man?
Cody, what could it possibly be, Cody? Cody, former FLW Tour angler, Cody.
Hey, I'm you know what I'm doing right now?
You're driving.
I just left Ranger, and I have 1,873 miles
Jesus.
to my house.
Oh.
You know, Cody, the best thing to do on a long drive is get caught up on Ike Live and Low Budget Live.
Hey, I'm planning on it. I had no idea this morning when I woke up, put my shorts on, that I was going to be on Low Budget Live this afternoon.
A historic episode, to say the least, too, from the new Low Budget Live Bar and Grill. We're calling it.
Nice, dude.
That's what we're calling it.
I like it.
BTC, what's it going to take to win tonight? What's the winning weight in the Jersey Beer League?
Well, sometimes it's 5 for 5 pounds.
Okay.
But if they're snapping, maybe there's an 11, 12-pound bag.
Ooh, boy. Okay.
It's just 6 to 9. Yeah, it's like Japan over here. These fish are pummeled. They're pincushion. It's fishing's tough, but I don't know. I'm just going to blast up and down the lake and drink some cold ones.
Who's the partner tonight, Eric?
No. There's Eric's heading up north tonight.
Okay.
So yeah, no, I got the Riz. My buddy
The Riz. Okay.
The Riz, yeah. Luke, you coming East Coast soon? Maybe.
Hopefully, trying to work it out.
That would be really cool.
Yes.
That would be really cool.
Hopefully soon. We talked about it. Yes, I'm working on it for sure. I'll call you tomorrow.
All right. Hey, I'll let you guys run. I got to get out.
All right, BTC. Good luck.
Yeah,
See you, man.
See you guys. Have fun, man.
See you, buddy.
Cody.
See you, buddy. Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brian the Carpenter leaving us right there from Ike Live Fame, and then Cody beeps in, and it's amazing. Cody, I wasn't even going to have a guest on this episode, and I'm like, I'm having Cody on here.
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm so glad I called you, man. I was just calling because I left old Ranger Town, flipped Arkansas, got the boat all spanked. He hooked it up, man, got it all cleaned up, and I'm looking. You know what? You find out who your friends are on these drives.
Yeah, that's right. Who answers?
Yeah, your friends will answer the phone. So,
Yes, and I have.
I don't know any news. I'm just calling to see what's happening.
I have friends that know I'm on long drives that don't answer because they know I'm not going to be able to get off the phone with Luke for at least an hour. Because he's going to knock an hour of the drive out. I think that's something that a lot of people that don't travel a ton, they don't realize how much we actually talk on the phone when we're driving.
For sure. Yeah,
I mean,
it's so boring driving.
Oh, it is. So you left Wisconsin. You left the Red Crest.
Yes.
Drove to Arkansas. Spank. I talked to Spank this morning. He said you were out there. I actually met Matt Slater with Ranger Boats in Nashville this morning with my Ranger, taking it out there for me to have it refurbed. He had to bring David Walker's boat to back over here. So he got me. He got me out there. I got to go pick it up, but Matt should be rolling into Ranger anytime now with mine to get the Silver Pearl, as we called it this year, refurbed. But so you got your stuff refurbed. Now you're headed back, and what do you got going this fall?
Dude, I am so fired up. So I'll be home sometime Saturday night, sleeping all day Sunday, and really nothing this fall. I have two Major League Fishing Cups, one in September, one in October.
Any clue on general areas of where those are? You can't even say that.
I don't know if I can say or not. I know the states. I'll just say the states are in the south.
Okay.
And it's still going to be hot, so I'm not fired up about that. But
I gotcha.
It'll be a good time. And other than that, let's see. I'll be changing some diapers, hopefully for not much longer. My boys need to be potty trained. Pumpkin patches is definitely a must.
Yes.
The topic right now is what are the Meyers going to be wearing for Halloween? And
yes, always a hot
I think
topic.
we've settled on some.
Okay.
We've settled on, I'm going to be the Grinch.
Okay.
Yep. So my wife's going to be, I don't know her name.
Cindy Lou who?
No, that's going to be my daughter.
Oh, I was like, your wife, Cindy Lou who? I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, my son's going to be the dog.
I like it. I like it. Always going all in for Halloween. You actually met your wife at a Halloween party, right?
I did, yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
I think you told that story on Low Budget. I'm pretty sure
I did.
that you did. You told that on Low Budget.
Life lessons.
Life lessons. So I've been on a rant about things today, and not overly. I don't feel like I'm overly negative, and you know me, I'm a fan of the sport. But so first question I got is, what in the hell's a thunderbolt?
You know, it's a. I think it's like from the Marvels, the comics.
Is it really?
Thor uses with his hammer as a practice gun.
I actually heard, no joke, through the grapevine that. First of all, props to Major League Fishing for trying different things, okay? First of all, I don't want it to come off like a total beatdown because I like – it's a good old-fashioned ribbing when I'm giving them a hard time for saying Thunderbolt. But I heard that when they would speak about the planned Bass Pro Tour in secret conversations or in emails or whatnot, that Thunderbolt was the code word.
Oh, no kidding.
That's what I was told that by somebody that supposedly knew, and I felt like this person did know, and they said that they called it like Operation Thunderbolt when they would talk about it or whatever. So nobody would get out that we're doing the Bass Pro Tour, which is kind of funny and kind of cool that they're like, you know what, we're going to go with the Thunderbolt ball, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I don't know how I got its name, but I was this guy. So it was pretty cool. It was a good dinner, good food. I sat next to the table with Aaron Martins, and he's like the man, my hero. Heard some cool stories from him. But anyways, they had babysitters that would watch your kids. And
What?
Yes. Some of the boat officials, they babysit too. Pretty crazy.
No.
And anyways, long story short, they said, hey, write your phone number down in case something happens. Well, I was the guy that got the call, please come get your kids.
Oh, no.
So my Thunderbolt ball ended very, it started an hour later, it was over. So,
and within an hour.
It sounded like a good time. Oh, pretty much an hour. But, hey, I did see pictures from people.
I did too.
Dancing, and I heard KBD went crazy, shirt off, twirling in the air, saying North Carolina. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But,
I did see. I do have some pictures that I'm sitting on that have been sent to me of a couple guys that were overserved and look pretty miserable. That are really funny, but I would never share them for fear of them getting upset with me. But I saw some really good stuff after the Thunderbolt ball.
Nice.
What was your so that does sound cool that they made sure that, hey, if you guys want to have a good time without your kids, that they took care of that. What's your overall take from the year? And I know you got 2 events left. What was your take on your Bass Pro Tour experience coming from the FLW Tour? What was your take? Maybe what was your sponsors' overall feel? And then what was your take on the Red Crest? Because only 30 guys made it, and you made it to the first one, and that's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, so, overall take was great. I mean, I love FLW. I fished the tour for 10 years, have so many friends, so many awesome memories. I love everything about FLW. And, Major League Fishing, when I signed on for this, it was scary. I mean, it's hard to change in life, and it was a change. And, the first 3 events this year, I started off just really not catching them. I wasn't sure about Major League Fishing, going, man, I don't know if I'm fit for this or what. And part of that, honestly, too, was probably, a lot of these guys that grew up, I idolize these guys, and I'm thinking to myself, can I compete? And it just, a lot of it got in my head. And then after it kind of settled down, got the hang of it, said, all right, this is what I'm going to have to do to survive. I really enjoyed the second half of the season. It was really enjoyable. Now, I like the format, but I will say it is extremely intense.
Oh, I bet.
Stressful. Very stressful. But, now that we all kind of have this year under our belt, it was really good, and I think we're all going to be better off, because there's kind of know what's coming. Jake Wheeler's going to catch 400,000 fish in 3 minutes.
And Edwin.
And Edwin's just going to pound you in the ground and laugh about it. And so I am excited. I'm really excited. And then going to the Red Crest, it was really just like every Forest Wood Cup I fished. I was nervous about it. I was excited. The opportunity to win that kind of money was crazy, but I never caught him there. So it was over really, really quick, but it was definitely exciting. And I feel like for year one, that's the thing. You hear a lot of stuff.
That's right. Yeah, I've talked about that on here. I hear negative and about the crowds and that kind of thing, but this is year one. This is year one.
Yes.
So you have to be fair, and you have to be fair about the venue. I said that too. La Crosse, Wisconsin is not Birmingham, Alabama, or Knoxville, Tennessee.
Exactly.
It's not.
It's really not.
In terms of bass fishing, it's an amazing town. There's a lot of fishermen up there, but it's not Birmingham.
No, it's not the heart of bass fishing.
No.
And I mean, you notice that when you're out there, most people are in a walleye boat.
That's right.
So they don't really know bass fishing, but I really am impressed. I mean, I don't know how long ago this Operation Thunderbolt League was.
That's right. That's what we're calling it now.
Together, but really, like 8 months ago, I was planning on fishing FLW.
That's right.
All of a sudden, this thing changed, or not 8 months, but about 10 months ago. So for year one, they did an amazing job, and you just expect that with the people they have in place and the guys that it's really going to start taking off. But I'm really excited. I was excited to be there, to make that first 30. That was really cool. I mean, no matter what happens, I can say, hey, I was there.
That's right.
And and it was awesome, and I'm really looking forward to the future, and I'm a fan of the sport. Like, you hear all kinds of people. I'm all in on bass. I'm all in on fishing. FLW. I want everything to be good. I want everything to.
Well, you're like me. You got. I mean, you and I are great friends. You're over there. I got a ton of other friends over there. I got a ton of friends at Bass, and of course my FLW folks. And I'm just like, dude, I want everybody to have a good life, do what they want to do, and be able to fish.
Yes.
And feed their families. Like, I don't want MLF, anything negative I've ever said in any way, I don't want it to fail. I don't want to, obviously, I'm like, TH Marine's a sponsor. You know what I mean? Like, I want anything I'm saying or get said by a fan, I want it to be constructive, and I want them to change it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Make it better, whatever those negative points are to people. And if you poll 10 people, you'll get 10 different answers of whether they like it, whether they don't, and what they like or hate about MLF. And
exactly.
And what's strange to me is, and my dad's this way. Big shout out to Marty. I've already brought him up once in this, but my dad DVR'd every Major League Fishing that came on the Outdoor Channel. Every one of them. Yep. Loved it.
Yep.
And he hated the Bass Pro Tour. And it was like, he says to me, I can't get into it as far as a regular tournament. He said the Major League Fishing shows were just that. They were a TV show even though they were a tournament. He said, kept me on the edge of my seat. I loved it. I love watching the guys' personalities come out. But in a regular 4 or 5 day tournament, he said, I just didn't like it. He said, I couldn't get into it. Now, I've heard a lot of people say that. I think they'll make some changes to try to merge those crowds. I feel like there'll be some things that happen. I don't know I don't know what the answer is for that. But I talked about something earlier that is very important to think about in all of this. And people at Major League Fishing might not want to hear it. People at FLW might not want to hear it. But Bassmaster is a household name. Mm-hmm. It's a brand. You know what I mean? And like I said earlier, in America, we are very brand loyal and we are very brand conscious. They've had good crowds everywhere they've been this year, whether Kevin Van Dam's been there or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because these people are used to these Bassmaster tournaments coming to town, and they know what to expect and they know what it is. So you give Major League Fishing a couple more years to become the household name, you're gonna see it turn. It's not gonna fail.
Yes.
It's not gonna fail. There's too many brilliant people, hardworking people, too many great anglers, too many great personalities. It's not going to fail. I think that some of the negativity you've heard about it, and I had just a couple things that I wasn't crazy about, but for the most part, I think they survived. I think Bass survived this year, too. They constantly take shots at each other. That kind of wears me out a little bit. Bass is just as bad as MLA. Bass is like, I'm watching their live coverage, and Davey Height would be like, man, these big fish, and it's so good that these guys don't know what the other guys are catching because that adds to the drama, and then MLF's like, man, he knows what Cody Meyer's got right now, so he's super stressed out, and it's like, Jesus Christ. Like, it's nonstop. And it's like, thank God we have these weigh-ins. And MLF's like, we release these bass immediately. It's just, it's nonstop bickering. And I thought, halfway through the year it would calm down. No, I think it got worse. And maybe it got worse on the bass side of things than it did MLF, but it's just, I'm like, guys, just talk about what you do, because last year you didn't talk like this.
No,
you know what I mean? Like they didn't talk like that.
They didn't talk like that. And think about this: every single guy on any of these tours, they're doing this. Why? Because they love it.
Exactly.
They start off because they love
catching bass, catching a bass,
catching bass is. But every angler in FLW, Major League Fishing, Bassmaster, that was your dream, to go catch bass for a living. And so now I know we hear all this, and MLF, like I say, we've talked about a lot of this stuff. We're constantly having angler meetings, talks, and we have an advisor that we'll talk with, on a regular basis. And they're like, you guys, let's hear it. What's wrong? What's your opinion? What can we change to make
and that's huge. It's huge.
They told us, they said, to start this thing off, we know we're not going to be perfect. There's going to be bumps in the road because it's year one and we've never done this. So I do feel like, you know, the right changes will be made. And a lot of those, you know, those things that people were asking about are eventually over time going to come out, and you're going to be excited about, you know, maybe they do something where you don't know who wins and you have to watch, or we're going to see what happens. I don't know, but
yeah.
I think just right now, and as a whole, like the whole sport, I think there's so many fishermen that are wanting to fish, and man, I mean, I'm excited for the future with everything, just bass fishing in general.
Yeah, and I touched on that earlier. I think we're also, though, not to be negative towards the sport of professional bass fishing in the least, but I do feel like we're seeing this shift where these YouTube anglers and social media guys, they're making as big of an impact as a lot of pros are in the sport.
100%.
And it's a huge shift we're seeing that I ignored forever. I know a lot of other pros that ignored it. Tournament organizations have ignored it, but it's to the point now you can't ignore it. Like you're like, dang man, they're selling a lot of product. They're promoting the sport. Is it different than how we've always promoted it? Yep. Is that wrong? Nope. You know, whatever helps grow things, that's all we can ask, man, for sure. But
YouTube is, when I started bass fishing, you're the same way. There wasn't even the internet.
No, not at all.
And now you have these guys that are crazy, like Darian putting hooks in his.
Oh yeah, exactly.
For some reason.
Yeah, just absolutely insanity on there. But at the same time, you know, Darian is, because he's not as big of a tournament fisherman anymore, he's given out a lot of stuff that I wish he'd shut up about. But, you know, that he's showing stuff on Gunnersville as far as like techniques, like, hey, here's how you ledge fish. Here's how you graph for bass. Here's how you find these schools of fish we talk about. And dude, that's growing the sport. That's helping people enjoy it more. You do the same. You're showing them how to drop shot. You're showing them how to use their Garmin Panoptics. Shout out to Garmin. See how I did that right there, right?
Yeah,
you noticed that.
Awesome.
You feel that? Okay. Yeah. Helping us both out. Shout out to Amanda at Garmin. Hope you're listening, Amanda.
Hey, Amanda, I love you.
Hey, Amanda, love you, miss you. But truly, you know, pros have done that for years, but now the way YouTube works is you know, you don't have to wait on that tournament to come out, you know, the television show to see the things. And the way social media works, yours and mine and everybody else, I can post a video a day if I want to with all the tips. So people don't have to watch the tournaments as much, you know, to get those quote nuggets that they used to get. So there's a big change going on, man. And it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. And I know you've heard the rumors that I've heard, and I'm not going to go into that again. I've already talked about it, and I won't make you talk about it because I can talk about it and not get in trouble, but you don't need to talk about it. There are lots of things going on. It's going to be interesting to see if the sport can sustain 3 organizations. It's 3 trails. You know, like I know, your sponsors like a Daiwa, or, you know, for me, an Eagle Claw, a Rod and Reel sponsor, an endemic in the industry sponsor. They can't sponsor guys on all 3. No. You know, effectively, they can't. And the industry is too small. We think of this bass fishing world as being huge, but in the grand scheme of things, it's small. So compared to other industries and things. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, 10 years down the road to see where we're at. You know, I don't see MLF going away, and bass is hanging in there. You know, they have survived this haymaker from the outside looking in, right? I don't know financially how their business works. I talked about earlier. I know from an inside track that it's a sponsor renegotiation here for several of their major sponsors. And that's how you make your money when you're a tournament organization like that. So we'll see, you know, do the sponsors go MLF? Do they stay with Bass? Do they split the money they used to give solely to Bass with MLF and, you know, and FLW? Like it's going to be really, really interesting to see how this all plays out, man. And all I know is from a friend standpoint and a fan of the sport, I was so pumped that you turned your year around, that you had a great year, that you showed those guys what was up, and that, you know, that you hung in there, made the championship, and dude, I'm proud of you. I'm proud to know you, and I appreciate you calling Low Budget Live and not knowing you were calling Low Budget Live.
Dude, I appreciate all that, man. No, it's I'm glad to be on here too. But you're right. I mean, you just nailed it with all that stuff. There's so many things we don't know about, and I mean, we keep hearing all these rumors. We don't know if they're true, but I'm excited just to hear them, just like you, just to kind of know. And like I say, at the end of the day, we just want to go fish.
That's right. Yeah.
And do it, man.
Yeah, I just want to go fishing.
Yeah.
And do a podcast.
So,
I want to go fishing. I want to run my mouth about it.
How what's old Corey up to, man?
Big C. Big C is so Big C has been calling on a lot of boat builders for TH Marine, and he's been on the road the last 3 weeks straight. He did a stint in Texas. He did 2 weeks in Florida, and right now I talked to him this afternoon. He is in Panama City Beach, Florida, fixing to go saltwater fishing for Labor Day weekend. So
good for him.
Yeah, that's what I say. He's man, he works hard, but I don't know, man. He and I are actually going to try to get together next week. We're in on a new deer leash together up here in my neck of the woods, so probably get to see him next week. But Big C, big shout out to Big C, Big Corey. Now he'll probably, will you be at the Ranger Dealer the Product Knowledge Tour, Advantage Tour in December this year?
I don't know for sure. Oh, last year was September, right?
Yeah, it's December this year.
So I'm probably going to be there for sure. I just, want to see Big Spank again.
Of course, you can't see the Diesel Spanky D enough in life, especially if there's a threat that he might break out the Traeger.
Hey, dude, oh my gosh!
I heard he killed it at Red Crest.
He killed it. So my dad, he flew in from Idaho. He lives in Boise, and he wanted to come out there and watch the Red Crest. And so he was there, and I said, Dad, we have to go to dinner one night. Spank's gonna make whatever. I don't know what he's making, but he's got his Traeger. He's got a bunch of people over there. And my dad took like 2 bites and goes, "Oh my God, do you own a food truck?" I said, "Oh, here we go."
Oh boy.
Oh boy, here we go. But no, I mean, my dad has been on this earth for 65 years and said that is some of the best barbecue he's ever had in his entire life.
I would agree with that.
So yeah.
I would agree with that. It's incredible.
He is incredible. He didn't even invite me. I was over at Ranger last night and didn't even invite me to his house. It's family time. I don't know what's wrong with that guy right now. But,
yeah.
But
he is, I think he is arguably one of the best human beings I've ever met in my entire life.
He is. He's great.
He's amazing, dude. He's amazing.
He's great.
Cody coming into the studio right now, coming up the steps slowly but surely. And she's about to be on camera. She's going to be mad. She just ran. The triple threat, my wife, Marissa. She just ran around the corner. She didn't realize I was filming and doing low budget. I was trying to get her to. I sent her a text and said, "Hey, I'm doing LBL at the LBL Bar and Grill, and I need you to come out and do the podcast with me." But she just ran around the corner carrying some stuff.
LBL Bar and Grill.
Yeah, dude, I'll send you pictures when we get off the phone. So I had this room above my shop. It was one of the main reasons we bought this place. The shop was awesome. Just the main reason I wanted the place. I don't know if it's the main reason Marissa wanted it, but we turned it into a 1-bedroom apartment on one side and my office / I got a bar and a couch, and I'll send you pictures. So next time you're in my neck of the woods, anywhere close, I got a place for you to sleep, and B, a place for us to do a podcast. And it's really cool. I'm really proud of it. Just got the okay to start moving stuff in last Friday. So this is the first podcast from up here.
Nice.
And I'm pumped.
I'm making history right now.
You are making it. I told you it's a historical day. It's a very historical day, man. It's very historical.
Hey, you should see. Big shout out to Ranger here for during this refurb last week in Wisconsin. I put this boat on several sandbars, and my lower unit was the color of it was cream. It was sandblasted, and I come out there today, and they sanded this sucker down, repainted it. It looks like I have a brand new loader.
No way.
So, dude, Dude, I'm serious, man. At David Walker's, I saw his boat leaving. Same thing. So just remind Spank that I don't know if you hit anything this year. But
Oh, I've hit plenty, and I got rear-ended in my lower unit, and it broke a chunk off, but I don't think they'll do anything about that.
yeah, I don't know about a chunk. But,
yeah, it took a little chunk out of the skeg there, but got rear-ended by an uninsured 16-year-old driver in Huntsville, Alabama, right in the old lower unit. That was awesome back in May.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I had that happen in Georgia one time going to Jason Johnson's house. Somebody hit me.
JJ.
Took off, man. Took off.
Unbelievable.
Took off. Couldn't catch him. And I had a dolphin tail on my lower unit for like half the year. Man.
Oh, yeah.
Still fell.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to be rocking when I sell my boat, probably a skeg guard on there.
Skeg guard. Yeah.
I mean, it runs, it runs fine, but yeah, mine's going out there, do a little refurb. They do a crazy good job when they clean them up, and so if you're in the market, if you're watching LBO and you're in the market and you're on the West Coast and you'd like a boat, Cody's got one for sale, I'm sure. I've got one for sale over here in the Southeast, and they're bargains, man. They're bargains.
They are bargains. They'll change your life forever in a positive way.
Yeah, well, I mean, compared to going and buying a brand new one for 85, 90 grand. You can get a year-old Ranger and save you several $1,000s. So with all loaded out way more than you would probably load one if you were getting it from a dealership yourself.
Well, you couldn't build it like that because you'd need an oxygen mask when you started adding on.
Yes, there's no doubt about that. That's what I try to tell people. So, well, dude, I'm going to call you tomorrow.
Sounds good.
So I'm going to be, I'm going to Guntersville tomorrow, and I'll give you a shout while I'm driving, and we'll catch up even more.
Yeah, sounds good. I need to hear about these secret baits, man, what they're doing.
Oh, dude, well, let me tell you something. Yeah, the secret baits have been, yeah, it's been pretty good the last 2 weeks. You knew about one trip. I've had a couple more since then that have been, been amazing.
Nice.
It's been a lot of fun, dude.
Buddy.
All right, dude. Good talking to you. Thank you, Cody. LBL loves Cody Meyer. You've been on here as much as anybody ever has.
I like it.
All right, buddy. Be safe today.
All right, bro.
All right. See you,
man.
dude. Cody Meyer. That was a surprise phone call right there on Low Budget Live, just like we surprised the Triple Threat when she came up the stairs into the Low Budget Live Bar and Grill, and she saw the camera and immediately ran away and gave me a dirty look. She's in the next room. Triple Threat, say hey. Hey. Triple Threat says hey. All right. I'm exhausted. This has been I went on a hell of a rant in the beginning, and then Brian the Carpenter called, and then Cody Meyer called, and then it was just good. That was unplanned. That was really cool. Thank you for following along with everything I do. Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. I have some things to talk about and announce on there later this year. Some exciting things for next year I can't talk about yet. Very exciting things. Make sure you're subscribed. If you listen to this podcast at all, Luke Duncan's Traveling Circus, make sure you're telling your friends, telling your neighbors about this. I enjoy doing this. We are going to get more frequent now that I have the LBL Bar and Grill Studios. Going to try to pop out one a week. Going to be home a lot this fall, a whole bunch. And I just really appreciate it. I appreciate everybody, and I appreciate the Triple Threat, even though she's in the other room. But thank y'all for listening. Thank you for being cool. If you want to find out more about the song you're fixing to hear, go check out Luke Duncan's album, 64. Go check it out. Thank y'all for listening. Take care, everybody.
No house could be a home when it's filled up or gone. I'm staring up the road, looking back out alone.